Supreme Court rejects censorship lawsuit. So they had a lawsuit. Yes. That, well, here it is. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in Murphy versus Missouri that the plaintiffs, including social media users and 2 states, lack standing to sue the federal government over allegations of pressuring social media companies to censor content during the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2020 election. So the reason what they did was they said, oh, you don't have standing. So they didn't actually try the case or hear the merits of the case. They said the people who were bringing this case about being censored, they didn't have any injury from being censored that they could prove, so they couldn't sue. That's basically, correct me if I'm wrong, again, I'm a C student, but that's what I took away from this. You can't
censor, that's not a defamation lawsuit, that's a censorship thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're saying
that's how defamation works.
But they're saying that, yes, I agree. So let's go back to this. It says, pressuring social media companies to censor content during the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2020 election. Justices Alito, Thomas, and Gorsuch dissented. Only 3. Yeah. Arguing that you would think it'd be a lot more. It's supposed to be a right-wing court.
What? Yeah, what? Oh, the one who doesn't know what a woman is? How'd she vote? Wait, let me guess.
Let me guess. Arguing that the case was one of the most significant free speech issues to reach the court in years. So those 3 justices said it was the most significant free speech case to reach the court in years, and criticized the majority for sidestepping the issue. That's what they did. They sidestepped the issue. The decision was based on the plaintiffs' inability to prove they were directly harmed by the government's actions, despite evidence of government officials pressuring social media platforms to remove what they deemed as misinformation. So now I've seen lots of...
Wait, who's the one who they had that whole big kerfuffle over with that bullshit thing that he had a party? Remember?
I think that's Alito.
No, it's not Alito. It's
they had a party. You mean I thought the flag upside down?
No. That's hilarious. No, the one where that chick came out and said, "Well, we were at a party, and then he jumped on me, and then a friend."
Oh, that was yeah.
I thought something.
Oh, that guy went against this too.
Yeah, wow. So that guy went on the side of the shit-lib
establishment.
Well, you almost threw him away.
Wow.
Fucks.
Wow.
Wow.
You're telling
What's his dumb name?
What you're telling? It's like Irish or something. What is that guy's? He was the last white male put on the Supreme Court. What's his name, Misha? Can you look it up? Are you telling me, Kurt, that our social media platform is actually working for the powerful elites to control the population and their thoughts and opinions?
Why are you saying that, Jimmy? Just because DARPA invented this?
What? You mean the internet?
The whole thing. The whole thing.
Yeah. When are people going to realize that an actual line on a safari is not cute and adorable?
Kavanaugh.
Oh, Kavanaugh.
Fuck you, Kavanaugh. I hope they do protest at your house.
Wow. Turns out that the same people who created LSD to control humanity accidentally freed them up again briefly before they made the thing they invented illegal. So here, let's look at some. Charlie Kirk says this 6-3 Supreme Court ruling backing the Biden administration's coercion of social media companies effectively means the government can censor Americans' constitutionally protected speech so long as they outsource it to a third party. Unbelievable. Alito's dissent is spot on. This is Alito's dissent. We should have had Matt what's his name? Matt Taibbi on today. I wonder if he'll still come on our show. That is regrettable. This is what Alito said. What the officials did in this case was more subtle than the ham-handed censorship found to be unconstitutional in Vulo, but it was no less coercive. And because of the perpetrators' high positions, it was even more dangerous. It was blatantly unconstitutional, and the country may come to regret the court's failure to say so. It was on. So they just won't hear this case, because if they hear this case, they'll have to say what the government was doing was unconstitutional, because it is.
I like that they can outsource it to a third party, which is how we do our psyops and make our COVIDs.
Yes. Here, back to this. If a coercive campaign is carried out with enough sophistication, it may get by.
Or not that much.
That is, or not. That is not a message the court should be sending.
Well, we've received it a long time ago, so you're good on that.
Here's what Simon Ateba, a friend of the show, he said, outraged Justice Samuel Alito explodes after... So that sounds like a porn. Explodes after Supreme Court dismisses case against Biden's White House, pressuring social media companies to censor what they deem disinformation during COVID and the 2020 election. Says America might regret the decision, says White House pressure cannot be dismissed as mere persuasion. In dissenting, Justice Alito was joined by Thomas and Gorsuch. And here's some more of... So Simon Ateba says, no, Justice Alito expressed significant concern about the extent of government influence on social media platforms, emphasizing that the interactions went beyond mere encouragement and ventured into coercion. The government's pressure tactics, which included threats of adverse regulatory action, cannot be dismissed as mere persuasion. So the government...
We call it a nudge over at BlackRock.
So, yeah. So right now... social media companies can't be sued. So if you're censoring, that makes you a publisher. Now, when someone sues somebody for slander or libel in a book, they sue the publisher because that's who's got the money. They don't sue the library. They don't sue the bookstore. They sue the person who wrote it and the publisher. So there's a special carve-out for social media companies that allow them to be seen as the bookstore, even though they're publishers. Because when you're censoring, you're publishers. So it's called Section 220.
Yeah, right. Trump threatened to take that away from them.
So what he's saying here, Alito, is that the government is threatening to take that protection away from them if they don't censor the way the government wants.
Right.
And that's the world you're living in. And that's the world that Democrats are all for. And turns out lots of Republicans on the Supreme Court, too. Turns out the establishment's for it.
It turns out it's a lot more corruption than you thought, all the way up, and not in the ally. Like, that's why you're dumb to take a side of Republican or Democrat, because their majority are all against you.
They're against you. So, did I read the part? Yeah. So here's the next note. The dissent argued that the majority so Gorsuch, Thomas, and Alito argued that the majority mischaracterized the plaintiff's standing, asserting that the connection between government actions and social media censorship was sufficiently established. The majority's demand for concrete evidence of causation in each instance of censorship overlooks the broader pattern of government pressure and its chilling effect on free speech. So these motherfuckers at the Supreme Court were saying there wasn't concrete... That's what the Twitter files were. They exposed this whole thing.
I called it a nothing burger, Jimmy, as you...
Yeah, right.
The thing we all say in the media because we're not idiots. It's a nothing burger.
It's a nothing burger.
Nothing burger.
Note, the dissent, meaning Gorsuch, Thomas, and Alito, emphasized the potential chilling effect of government actions on free speech, warning that the ruling could embolden future government's efforts to suppress dissenting views. Quote, this ruling effectively grants the government a free pass to continue its campaign of suppression, threatening the foundational principles of free expression. Okay, let's... Note, Justice Alito argued that judicial intervention is necessary to prevent further government overreach in influencing social media moderation policies. Quote, judicial oversight is imperative to safeguard against the encroachment of government on the marketplace of ideas.
Hey, how much you want to bet word came down from the inner agency?
Yeah, from the seat. Yeah. So here's a little bit more. The dissent highlighted ongoing evidence of government influence over social media platforms, pointing to continued communications and pressure tactics. The record is replete with instances of continued government engagement with social media companies, underscoring the persistent nature of their coercion. So so the 6 justices are saying there isn't enough evidence that this is happening? Are they really saying that?
They're doing the thing that every media outlet would do. Like, it's not censorship if a corporation does it. A business can do what they want, except if they're not doing what I want, and then the government should tell them to.
So Simon Atiba says, I'm surprised some people on social media have not yet paid attention to what just happened.
Why would you be surprised?
The Supreme Court made a horrible decision today. The White House can pressure Twitter to take down some content, deeming it false or disinformation, under the threat of taking away their protection from being sued. That's the thing people miss. It's not just White House pressuring, it's White House threatening that if you don't do this, we're going to take away your protection, and then your social media company is going to get sued, and you're going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, what do you think that all these little tech jerk-offs, you don't think they have to go to Bilderberg and come filing in, and they go, are you doing the thing? And they have to all pay tribute and then promise to do some shit they don't want to do? Like that dipshit Jack from Twitter?
Boy, that guy Jack really gets away with pretending he's a dipshit. Yeah, I don't know anything. I didn't know.
I think he's very well threatened, and I think that Indian bro with him was his minder at Rogan.
Oh.
Okay, 100%. You could tell how he was kind of resented it, and he was telling, Elon, you should buy this because it's not cool what they did. You could see the whole situation. He's on charge of shit. These are all things that came out of DARPA that I don't even believe these guys even came up with the initial ideas anymore beyond the stupid names. Like Facebook, that was a DARPA project called, we had Whitney Webb on talking about it, right?
Yeah.
LifeLog. And then they canceled LifeLog the day Facebook came out. Meanwhile, that creep from Facebook, I'm watching him give speeches like, well, I was human once. And I was always a human. That's a real quote. You saw that?
No.
He literally, I'm sure it's just a slip of the tongue.
Okay, over to Steph.
All right. Thank you so much, Jimmy. My mother died within 2 weeks of getting the booster. Also had dementia, but was fine prior to any jabs.
Hey,
Mighty Rose.
The CDC and the FDA say it's safe and effective.
They say it's safe and effective.
It slows the spread, but not of Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Oh.
Dan at 5, 3 minutes.
Okay, keep reading.
Keep reading.
We've got Dan on the 5.
Statistics are often a waste of time. I'm a polymath. I study across various fields. That is why I know things based on mechanics, repeatable processes, stuff anyone can do. That's one of 2. Thank you. That interview was brilliant, informative, and funny as fuck. Can't wait to see you again live in Vegas. Has so much love for JD and crew. Pop Onaya.
Well, tell Mike the Wop.
Candace should update her talking points and stop using the big liar Zolznedzen as proof of the evil Bolsheviks killing Christians. Zolznedzen.
I mean, even
MSM.
the non-Christians I feel bad for.
Zelensky also abandoned the Christian church in Ukraine. Jimbo. People want me to feel a certain way about Adolf Hitler because of my Jew heritage, but when it comes to my Gypsy heritage for the same, it's supposed to be no big deal. Fuck these people, Vientikis.
Hey, have the mustache you want, man, if that's what this is about.
That's right. Candace should update. Oh, I read that one. MSM. Thank you. The first concentration camps were set up by the British for Boer women and children during the Second Anglo-Boer War in South Africa in 1900.
I tried to tell Candace.
Marisa.
I said it to Candace.
The first concentration camp were set up by the British for Boer women. I read that one.
You
Marisa.
guys are making this shit up.
Let's go. Skipatsy, when will you be able to organize a roundtable with Candace, Max, Aaron, Glenn, Matt, and Julian Assange? Skipatsy, that's a great.
Oh, sure. You know what? I'll call them all and tell them to tell them to wait. I'm coming.
All right.
We always do round tables with these long distance people.
Vientikis Prime, statistics are often a waste of time. I'm polymath. Oh, I read that one.
I say Julian Assange. Who do you think he's going to give his first interview to? I think it's 1 or 2 people.
Oh, okay. I have my guess.
Oh, Sagar or Crystal?
Shit.
I thought I was going to say Cenk or Anna.
Now I don't even know.
I thought it was going to be Chris Cuomo.
It's going to be. I bet it's going to be Tucker Carlson.
That's my
because Tucker actually unlike Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
He actually went and visited him
You didn't
and
show Jimmy.
talked about him.
Well, Hunter Biden is my Julian Assange, Jimmy. I hope.
Oh, shit.
All right, should we go? We can fix that in a second. Should we go and bring in our next guest?
Yeah, bring it in.
Okay, we're going to be right back, folks.
These are
Need me to go, man?
Hi, what are you doing?
Chilling, man.
Are you homeless?
Yeah, I stayed here to get out of the rain last night.
Enjoy your time, buddy.
All right, thank you. Need me to
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
At this time, more than any other time, you know, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, you know, the babies that have been murdered, you know, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, you know, money poor people. You know, this government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But you know, something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. You know, we don't really know what war is. You know, for black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, you know, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison. But they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, you know, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, you know, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators. And they're going to have riots on their hands. You know, they're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. You know, we have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, you know, what we need, what needs to be done. And, you know, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, you know, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, you know, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, you know, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, you know, this system and those backing the officials running the system, you know, want people to believe that revolution means violence, you know, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. You know, when people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. You know, they get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it. Then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. You know, every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. You know, men, women, and children were murdered. And not just MOVE babies, you know. What about all of the young men, women, you know, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, you know, by drug pushers? I mean, you know, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, you know, making a quick buck, you know. I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, you know, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, you know, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. You know, how long are people going to sit back and beg, you know, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit